Okay, now that you've had a chance to workshop a few of your report project ideas, you have hopefully settled on one you feel strongly about. If not, hopefully you have chosen to develop the idea you think is the most promising one. The next step in your report project then is to develop your report scenario, rhetorical situation, specific audience groups, the alternatives you want to analyze, compare and contrast, the criteria you will use to do so, your research plan, and so on. The project planning worksheets are designed to be an aid to help you develop those exact aspects of your report project plans, and also a great base to serve as a foundation for you when you begin to draft your proposal, which is required to include all of the information listed above and more. If you haven't opened up the project planning sheet file from our course site yet, you can find these worksheets by opening up the Activities tab and then going to our lesson, this time lesson 6, and clicking Open the Project Planning Worksheets. Just for convenience sake, I am going to open up a Word doc, and I would recommend that what you do is save your own copy of this file as soon as you can, because once you do, then you can basically modify and save your own information in a way that best suits your own needs and writing process. These sheets should be a place for you to collect the information you need to present to your instructor in your proposal. And once you start entering information into the various sections, you will notice that the neat and tidy formatting you see right now will disappear very quickly. As much as possible, though, please do not be overly concerned with aesthetics when filling out these worksheets. The most important thing here is to get your information recorded somewhere so you can allow yourself a little inefficient page design and layout usage. Okay, now that we've opened up the first page of the file, I would like to place all of these sheets in perspective for you while introducing them. In general, try to think of them as simply places and categories for you to fill up with all the information you might need to know and include for your instructor in your proposal about the scenario, rhetorical situation, etc. that you are constructing for your analytical report. On the first sheet, situational analysis, you will automatically recognize 3 familiar words in bold spread out in various categories: audience, context, and if we scroll down a little bit, yes, there it is, purpose. Right away we can see that a good way to think about this first sheet is simply as a sheet to develop a summary of the rhetorical situation or the scenario that exists, which requires an analysis or choice to be made between the two alternatives. Let's just quickly work our way down through these categories to help make sense of what you want to include in each one. The first section here is where you want to provide an overview of the company or professional entity you are writing for. Once you start writing in the text box, you will notice that you can let it expand all you want. Just type as much as you want to about the size of the company, where it is located, what it produces, how many employees and departments it has, and so on. Again, try not to worry about aesthetics. This is all about getting information down. Don't worry how it looks. Next, give a brief description about why the company needs to make a choice. You have probably already done this in your topic memo, but even so, you can begin to go into more detail here. You will need to do so in the proposal itself. To use our printer scenario, We could write that the company's current office floor printers are 5 years old and are beginning to have trouble keeping up with the speed and volume demand as the departments expand, as well as troubles with font and its drivers on the company's new computer operating systems, etc. We scroll down to the next two categories, which asks you to describe the workplace context and the broader system context. These two are usually the two on the sheet that give people the most headaches. These two terms, workplace and system, will make more sense in some of your scenarios, but not so much in others. If possible, think of these two categories as a way to look at the situational context from the smallest micro level or most superficial and mechanical level for the workplace context, and then move toward the broadest macro level or the most wide and far-ranging relational aspects to the situation or the broader system context. Don't get overly concerned about where to draw the line between these two extremes, but rather use the two categories to help yourself examine the situation from the most minute and finite details to the most broad and general ramification of the situations at hand. In our printer example, we might point to the pages per minute or print speed of the present printers versus what is needed, the DPI quality of the printing itself, the driver adaptability, average page and maintenance cost, etc., for the system context. And then the need for quality printed documents for customer relations, technological printer limitations or abilities, and the impact on each on the company image, long-term and short-term sales for the broader system context, and actually all the way to things like environmental concerns with electrical consumption and ink materials, and so on. And finally, at the bottom of the sheet are the two sections where you can describe the purposes of gaining positive consequences from a successful solution and avoiding negative ones. I'm not sure whether we need to go into these in too much detail, but to use our printer example, the positive purpose or consequences of choosing a good replacement printer might be increased productivity, savings in operational costs, improved corporate image, increased office efficiency and computer software use, etc. Likewise, if nothing is done about the printer situation or a bad choice is made, productivity could continue to decline. Limitations might occur with the true utilization of the company's new computers. They might lose business from outdated workmanship, and so on.